I'm going to try and make this really quick, but here I have the Lost Books of the Bible, Great Rejected Texts by Joseph B. Lumpkin. This has a whole bunch of really awesome scriptures, like apocryphal books, and I'm mostly going to focus on Jasher and what it says about Nimrod. All right, here I have in chapter 27 of the book of Jasher. Esau at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went in the field to hunt. Nimrod, king of Babel, the same was Amraphel. I don't know why it says the same was Amraphel. I've never seen that name before, and I was going to look it up, so I circled it. Also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field, and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. Nimrod was observing Esau all those days, for jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau. Remember, they were both mighty hunters. On a certain day, Esau went in the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men. I'm going to skip around for the sake of time, but Esau was kind of stalking Nimrod and hiding in the woods undetected. And it says, Nimrod and 2 of his men that were with him came to the place where they were, when Esau appeared suddenly from his lurking place, drew his sword, and hurriedly ran to Nimrod and cut off his head. Did anyone ever know that? Anyone? I didn't. And long story short, oh, one of my lights just burned out. Okay. Long story short, Nimrod ran off for his life because he also killed the 2 men that were with. Did I say? Oh my gosh. Esau ran for his life because he also killed the 2 men that were with Nimrod. So you can imagine he just killed 3 people. And he's probably like having his adrenaline rush, and he just takes off through the woods before anybody else can find him and try and take him out. It says Esau took those garments. So he took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod, with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land. He ran and concealed them himself. Oh my gosh, you guys. If any of y'all read the Apocrypha, only in the apocryphal text does it tell you that Nimrod was given the sacred garments worn by Adam in the after they got kicked out. You know, like Yahuwah gave Adam his first garments that he was wearing. They were passed down from Adam to Seth and so on and so forth, all the way to Noah. And that's part of the reason why Ham was cursed. See, if you don't read the Apocrypha, none of this makes sense. It adds so much to all the missing pieces. So Ham stole those garments and he passed them down to Cush. And Cush was the father of Nimrod. So Nimrod had these sacred garments that gave him extra powers so that he would be mighty and have such a big empire like Babylon. And then Esau here cut his head off and stole the garments and ran off. Now check this out. He ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men, and he came to his father's house wearied and exhausted from fight, and he was ready to die through grief when he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him. And he said to his brother Jacob, Behold, I shall die this day. Wherefore then do I want the birthright? And Jacob acted wisely with Esau in this matter, and Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, for it was so brought about by Yahuwah. The days that Nimrod reigned, I'm skipping along. The days that Nimrod reigned on the people of the land were 185 years, and Nimrod died by the sword of Esau in shame and contempt. And the descendants of Abraham caused his death as he had seen in his dream. So, again, if you never read Jasher, it says that the day that Abraham was born, there was weird stuff going on in the heavens, weird stars. And the Chaldean astrologers of Nimrod's day saw this crazy sign in the heavens of a star that ate 4 other stars. And they immediately were freaking out, thinking this is the same day that Terah just had a baby. This baby is going to grow up and kill the king and his descendants and take over. He's going to be way too powerful. And if we don't notify the king and it comes to pass, he's going to have our heads on the chopping block, wondering why we didn't warn him. So there's a whole freaking story where you find out that Terah, because he was so high up in the kingdom of Nimrod, he kind of had to lie and like go along with worshiping the idols and stuff. And Abraham tried to tear down all of his idols, and he was very wise about it. It's like so awesome, I think, actually, like how he went about it. He kind of made them all look like fools. He played them at their own game and like made them realize, yeah, your little stone statues can't do anything. Why are you worshiping them? He made them look really bad, and he angered them and ticked them off. But when he was born, Nimrod wanted to kill him as a baby. Sound familiar? Like King Herod and the Messiah when he was a baby, and the whole star thing and like all this stuff. So anyway, Abraham gets away. They hide him, actually, I think, with Shem and Eber. So he's hidden for like 30, 40 years or so of his life, learning from Shem himself all of the Torah, how to obey the commandments of Yahuwah, how to walk righteously, and part of that would have definitely been, do not have other deities before me, no idols, And so he ends up coming back as a man. And there's this like incredible story of how he kind of puts them in their place and makes them realize they're kind of silly with these like statues that they're worshiping that can't breathe, can't talk, can't do anything. Now there's one discrepancy that I found between Jubilees and Jasher. One book says that Abraham's brother Haran died as a result of Abraham. Abraham was burning a building that held idols in it, and Haran ran inside to try and save the idols, and he perished. Now, doesn't that make more sense why then his son Lot, the nephew of Abraham, would be with Abraham from that point on, that Abraham kind of felt guilty for his brother's death and felt personally responsible to look after his nephew? Doesn't that make so much sense? Also, why they would name Haran after the deceased brother? Why are we missing these pieces, folks? Why are we missing these pieces? We shouldn't be. We need to read these books. But then, in the book of Jasher, it says Haran died in a furnace but because he was placed there with Abraham, but he wasn't as righteous or faithful, I guess, and so he perished, but Abraham didn't, which is really strange because I almost get the feeling like they're mixing up that story with Daniel and the furnace, but who knows? Anyway, I just really thought that was incredible that Esau fulfilled the prophecy that the Chaldean astrologers told Nimrod at the birth of Abraham. Esau fulfilled it. There's so many pieces. There's so many pieces. You guys, this is incredible. Please read the apocryphal texts. Now use discernment and pray for wisdom and understanding. But go for it. If anything doesn't add up or doesn't have multiple witnesses with the rest of Scripture, just kind of be leery about it. Don't base everything that you believe on one part if it doesn't really match up everything else. Like I said, there's a couple of like weird spots, but overall I get the sense like it's making so much more sense.